Alternative facts.
Any information that turned out to be so false and fake out. I think it's a disgrace. And that's something Nazi Germany would have done and did do.
Alternative facts.
Mani Jiri, agus fáilte rofa seach, radio pobl Erris, crealú a fud Erris, agus na canta a gúirt, níocha pointe 8 FM, agus go dévin, níos linte, agus ní fáide óháile an na háisna electrónatha. Seo é an chláir seachniúil idir a hín agus a trí hog an an muidne an panel, cíú agus bíú ar chuairsaí an tíl, mar a teisiid a lethir an fubal, an anmuid Iarracht na Firici, na Friirici, agus an nóid na Brega Brada, a scarú agus a scagu an na héile agus a níirne glán an nortú. Seo linn mar sin go dtí an chláir seachniúil Alternative Facts. Now, Alternative Facts is you started the program between 1 and 3 o'clock on Erris FM, broadcasting on 90.8 FM. It is a program in which we, the panel, bring to your attention, discuss, and evaluate local, national, and international news as presented to the public. On the panel today, we have a full sheet, a full panel, a full team, whatever you want to call it. On the right wing is Paul, as usual. Hello, Paul, how are you?
Afternoon, everybody.
Afternoon, everybody. And in the middle here in centre field, Ted is playing a good game. How are you getting on, Ted?
Good now, good.
And here's me, left full back, or whatever I am, left wing, Eddie Dever. And up on the exalted seat is the man himself, James Munley, and he's the one that can flick on the touch of a button or the flick of a switch, he can silence us all, or he thinks he can anyhow.
Oh, yeah. Well, you'll continue talking anyway, no matter what.
The only problem is that you can shut off the radio, but you cannot shut off the voice. So, anyhow. On the program, we will endeavour to put before you our version and assessment of the presented facts, but of course you, the public, will be the ultimate judges as to whether or not they are indeed facts, alternative facts, falsehoods, or merely political spin. You, our listeners, will be most welcome to contact us at any time. If you want to make a point, if you want to ask a question, or if you want to disagree or agree with the statement made, you'll be very glad to hear you. I think we're going out on Facebook and all the electronic gadgets up there.
We most certainly are. We're out on YouTube and we're out on live on stream on errisfmradio.com. So you just go to that page, and if you're looking in on a desktop, you just across the top you'll see listen, and click on that and just scroll down the page, and you'll see play, hit play, and you'll be linked up into our streamer site.
And you can talk to us here.
You can message us on our Facebook page. That's Erris FM 90.8.
Okay, but in the meantime, while you get yourselves ready and into order, we will continue with the local news. And there's a few bits of local news today. And I guess the Erris United Football Club, that's the soccer club, are holding an Easter camp, coaching camp for boys and girls between the ages of 6 to 14 at the Easter weekend. And the course will be given by Conor Kilkerran. And Conor is a UEFA B licensed coach, and he'll be the course will be running from the 14th to the 16th of April. It's a bit to go yet to get to it, but kind of said it won't take long coming up. And anybody wishing to join, you can contact call 083-175-3142. That's between the hours around 2:30 p.m. between the hours of 10 and 2:30 p.m. That's the Erris United Football Club having a coaching course. Now, the Erris Heartbeat Defibrillator presents a hoolie in the Haven. That's tomorrow night in the Broadhaven Bay Hotel. The defibrillator people will be having a hoolie between the hours of 4 and 7 p.m. It'll be a fundraising event, and tickets will cost adults €10, children, juniors €5. Jiving and waltzing competitions will be held. Which do you want to enter, the driving or the waltzing?
Whichever's the slowest.
Whichever I can run away from quickest.
Silence from Paul. Silence from Ted and me. If we entered the competition, myself and Ted, we'll win them, one each, I suppose.
Yeah.
Who's going to lead?
Anyhow, that's tomorrow night in the Broadhaven Bay Hotel. Because the kind thing is the defibrillator is kind of well spread all over Erris, and the kind is it's a great credit to the people involved that life-saving facility like that is made available in different parts of Erris. So it's well worthy of your support.
I'll just cut in you there a second, Eddie. The just in case people don't know, at the moment, right outside here, the recycling of used electrical goods is going on, and they're doing a brisk business. So if you've got any, they're here till 4:00. So if you've got any old electrical stuff, get it in there.
Yeah, anything old that doesn't have to be working, doesn't have to be in good condition, it just has to be electrical. So they'll take it with them.
Yeah.
Now, the Belmullet Festivals. The committee at the Belmullet Festival are running a bingo in the Broadhaven Bay Hotel on Monday, the 21st of April. That's a while away yet, but kind of is you can get yourself ready for it. It starts around 7:30 p.m. A single book will cost you €15. A double book will cost you €20, and half a book will cost you €8. And for those of you who like doing jackpots, whether it's for lotto or for bingo or whatever it is, you can buy 3 sheets jackpot sheets for €5. I guess get the next bit of local news. Kind of is the Erris Workability Clinic will continue to run in the following areas as follows: Ballycry Visitor Centre on Wednesday, March the 19th. Solis Achliam on Friday, March the 26th. Chakrani, Cornboy, Wednesday, April the 2nd, and in Bangor Erris Hall, Wednesday, April the 9th. Now, Erris Galway, Our Lady Secondary School, are having a Flag Day. Now, the Flag Day is a nationwide event celebrated by participating schools in advance of St. Patrick's Day to promote pride and liking in the national flag. It's kind of everybody. Some St. Brendan's School, National School in Acklam are also involved in the celebrations, and the kind of they are contributing well to the celebration. So that's pride in the national flag, which is something we should all have, is pride in the green, white, and gold, or green, white, and orange. Congratulations to Conor Holmes of Tuhoma, who became Mayo Pool champion in the very tight fought match with Stephen Jinx Jennings that went all the way to a deciding frame lately. Also, congratulations to Rita Welch, Mayo Ladies champion, to make it a double for Erris. Got a father boo and years because Kilmore Community Sports Field Committee are holding their annual general meeting in the clubhouse on Friday, March the 21st at 8 p.m. New members will be welcome, and volunteers will be welcome, because they're engaging on a very ambitious and well worth project. And the sports field there at Drum, they're putting in a track, an athletic track, to facilitate the youth of Erris and the grown-ups of Erris, and to possibly they will have a bit of coaching as well. And but it's a great facility for the youth of Erris to have, and to identify athletes and encourage them to continue with their sport. Now, the Belmullet Seaning Club were the first to donate to this project that I know of. They donated €1,000 there yesterday evening to the sports field, and it's cost the Seaning Club being a sporting organisation themselves, they knew well what sporting facility does for Erris. Now, to mark the anniversary of the rescue of 116 tragedy in Blacksod, 4 lights shone on Glosh Hill, overlooking the sea and visible along the coast. Thanks to Brian McSevigny, John Lavelle and Seamus Nallen for organising this tribute. Now, the anniversary of the 116 tragedy was March the 16th, and what was it? 1917.
8 years ago. Yeah.
8 years ago, yeah, and
Yeah.
it was a major tragedy in the area. When you had
tragedy in the
people who go out to save lives and lost their lives themselves. 4 of them were lost that time.
Yeah,
2 bodies still to be recovered. Teddy.
I don't think we'll be recovering them somehow now at this stage.
It doesn't look
8 years
likely,
later.
no.
Their life jackets from both were recovered 12 months after the thing. But no, we shouldn't forget the Dara Fitzpatrick, Mark Duffy, 2 pilots, Kieran Smith and Paul Owensby, the 2 winchmen who lost their lives.
Yeah, they can never be forgotten. Never be forgotten. I mean, to give up your own life in the effort to save others, it's an honour that, whatever, it's something worthy of applause. Not giving up your life is worthy of applause, but the fact that you go out to save lives without fearing the consequences.
Yep.
So anyhow, the anniversary was the 14th.
Yeah, it is. It's a thing that happens. Unfortunately, I've done rescue courses, including one with the Royal Navy, and the number one thing that was drummed into us by them was do not become a casualty yourself, because then the person coming along behind has 2 casualties to deal with.
Yeah,
but unfortunately, accidents do happen, and
as in life, nothing is certain.
Nothing is certain.
None of us go out in a case like that to become a casualty, but unfortunately, it does happen.
It does happen
from time to time, and anybody that goes out to save lives at sea or in the air or in any other dangerous situation, they must be applauded.
Oh yes.
Yeah, no. Sorry, Paul, were you going to say something?
I was just going to say that obviously planning and practice, where you see people go out doing practices on a Wednesday afternoon, say for instance the lifeboats. I mean, the whole idea of that is to minimise the chance of them becoming casualties.
Something happened.
Well, 2 people have to be congratulated: is Pauline Gertie and Michael Estar. They've received their 10-year service with the Erris Lifeboat.
Oh yeah, they're 10-year service. Yeah,
Yep.
they got recognition of the 10-year
right,
services. Yeah. Now the next piece I have here is the Paddy Monaghan Memorial Darts competition will take place this evening. I think the 14th in Unis of Blacksod at 4:30 p.m. Any queries in relation to it or to give your attention of attending, you can ring 083 836 2879. That's in Unis and Blacksod, and the Paddy Monaghan Memorial Darts competition. Darts are getting very popular in the darts and pool games. They're getting
Starting
very
to come back
popular.
again, yeah.
I'm back.
Yeah.
The youth are getting more involved now, and there's some future champions that are going to be there. I give you and Kyle
the youth of Erris are getting more involved in a lot of things now. That new track in Drum will be a great amenity for the schools used to have sports days, but they were just on unmarked tracks and things like that. And but to go to a marked track and the Kilmore football field is a very good field.
As a teenager when I was quite into athletics at the time.
I was talking to some of the committee there now recently, and they were telling me, regardless of the weather, regardless of the amount of rain, the football field there is always kind of solid, never gets mucky or
Well, that's
mushy
because of
or
the sand.
anything, because
Yeah.
it's a sandy bottom.
Yeah, good drainage.
Good drainage, great drainage.
Like
in
it
yeah.
runs, it's kind of operates in the same way about
Mm.
AquaTurf. Like it's a great old drainage
Well,
system.
it's great to see the youth doing that instead of being stuck in computers and
Yeah.
on their phones,
Well,
and you know, it's
Well, take the young Kyle now
maybe
to the
we're
pool.
maybe
Like
we're
he played
seeing
with the Irish national team.
we've reached saturation point in them, and we're going now back to
Well,
the
there
old
seems to be
basics.
more interest in sports and whatnot.
Yeah.
Now. Yeah.
yeah.
but the fact about an amenity like that, now there is athletic club are there as well, I'm sure they will be.
Well, the amenities always make a difference. Like,
Yeah, the
if you don't
facilities,
have-
the
if you
if you
facilities
don't have them,
make the
you know,
difference.
yeah.
But-
If you don't
but-
have them, they're not going to be there. Like.
But when you have the amenity and the likes of their athletic club working hand in hand.
Well, I remember,
is,
like as I said, as a teenager, airway training, air track training was around the football pitch here in town.
oh yeah, that was
You know,
it. Yeah.
That's how we trained.
Well,
Yeah,
my,
well,
my,
we were-
my-
we
my-
were
my
even-
training was across the bog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were even more primitive than that. I mean,
Mm.
football was
Played in
somebody's
banks.
jackets they were the
Oh
goal.
yeah,
Oh,
two
yeah.
goalposts,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
or
it
two
was.
or two stones.
You were lucky.
Right, Paul. What are you going to beat that one with?
Come on, Paul. Where do you
Trump that one.
where do you play football?
You-
Come on.
You just sound like the old men on Monty Python.
In my day, when I went to school with no shoes,
You were lucky.
Well,
I'll
we
tell,
made, we made our own.
I'll tell you something else with the two jackets as goalposts. The ball that we had a lot of times was a stocking filled
Somebody
with,
else
with
isn't.
grass.
All right.
Yeah. And that was
And
the
there was
ball.
I take it didn't hop very well.
It didn't hop, no, but kind of, and it was a bit hard to pick up legally as well.
and there was
Kind of-
always the argument of that was higher than the goalpost.
That was a point, not a goal.
or it was wide.
Oh well, they
But
created.
them were the days. I mean, I suppose Paul was the new Eltham or something like that.
Well, it was a case of
Yeah.
we made our own entertainment.
Yeah.
We didn't have any choice. We had to do these things
It was good entertainment, innocent entertainment, but we got there.
Oh yeah.
We didn't get to the Olympics or anything like that. But
No, but it is great to see now, as we said, with the amenities that
Yeah,
are
the
coming
mean
forward
is
now.
there, and
It makes a big difference for kids and teenagers to get out there and take part in sports. you
And
know.
having said that, now there's a few of our athletes at the moment in the European Indoor Athletics
Mhm.
Championship. Sarah Healy, Mark English, and Kate O'Connor, is
Yeah.
it?
And plus, we've had great success with
Who?
our boxers in this area as well.
Very, very great
Mhm.
success with the boxer. But I mean, now Sarah Healy has got Erris connections.
Yeah.
She is the niece of Dr. Ruan's wife here
Oh, right.
in Belmullet, originally from Ballina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, she's done very well. She's got the gold medal there.
She got the gold medal, yeah. Now, English, she's the Donegal man. He got the bronze.
Oh,
Even
Donegal would have to come into it again, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think I heard her being interviewed there.
Thanks.
yesterday.
I'd say nothing about people born in Dublin. would
Oh
I?
no, you wouldn't want to know.
No.
It's not safe.
Somebody might be
Because you're
identified.
unsure whether
Somebody might be identified as a blow, and
No,
just like myself.
you'd be unsure of was it a north sider or a south sider. So
Am I giving out local news here now, or listening to you complaining?
well, that's a good question.
Yeah.
Carry on, Eddie.
Carry on. Thanks very much. Yeah. Keep your finger off that button.
Right, yeah.
Now, the stress management course is going to be in the Irish Wheelchair Association House in Lockmore on Wednesday, the 26th of March. Now, stress is be mostly for parents to talk to you or show you or explain to you or maybe teach you or somebody how to deal with the stress of stress of living and stress of rearing a family, the stress of everyday living and things like that. So that should be a good occasion. That's on Wednesday, the 26th of March in the Lockmore in the Irish Wheelchair Association place. Now the Kilmore Rural Social Scheme, they have a vacancy at present for a person with administration skills to work between the Erris Agricultural Show Committee and the Irish Wheelchair Association for 19.5 hours a week. Now, the applicant must be in receipt of means-tested payment of social protection, or have a herd number, or have a close relative, a herd number, such as a father, or mother, or a sister or brother. And if you are involved in fishing or as a living, you will have to show proof that you are a full-time fisher or depending on fishing for your living. To get more information, you can phone 087 958 3140. I guess, I don't know what to go apart from a few lotto.
And Paul's not a winner again.
No, I'm still here.
That's it.
Yes,
That's
not.
how we know, because he turns up, you see.
I do know that there were no winners on the Kilcommon Lotto. No big winners on the Kilcommon Lotto last weekend.
I suppose you had two numbers or something like that, did you?
I didn't get a ticket, actually.
Oh,
I wasn't in when they came round.
oh well, just for that, we're not sorry for you at all. So. Anyhow, the Kiltane Lotto. It's a jackpot of 16,900.
That
It must be a while since that one was won.
Definitely, no.
Yeah. No winner. The €50 winners, there were two of them, Tommy McManaman of Towna and Geraldine O'Hagan of Dublin. The €25 winners, Jimmy Flannery, Gisala, and John and Tisha Cosgrove of Bellacorrick. And the online €50 winner was Jarlath Mangan, Clinchicilla, and the €25 online winner was Leanne Allen Halashin. Now, bingo continues in the Bangor Hall every Tuesday night. The jackpot is €500 on 45 calls or less. Now, that informs me that bingo was won maybe last week, because it's down now to 45 calls or less again. That's what they usually start at, and go up a call every week until it goes. Now, Kilcommon GAA Community Lotto. Jackpot, 9,800. Numbers drawn, 8, 12, 18, and 26. Paul had no numbers because he was not involved this week.
See, you would have won now if you entered.
I bet you did the numbers you used to have.
No, I still wouldn't have won.
So I said, oh, that's all right. So now the house prize, €100 went to Stephen Minahan of Foxpint. The offline €30 went to Mary Gallagher, got Mere, and Boris Pry, P-R-I, Belderick. I don't know him. And the online €30 went to Maura McGarry, Glenamoy, and Sean Coultry, Belderick. I shouldn't will go all of local news. We will maybe James, are you awake there?
No, fast asleep.
We will take a short break before we go on to national news.
You must be worn out now when you're looking for music this early.
No, there's only one. I believe the Black South Lighthouse is open this weekend as well.
It's open the weekend, yeah.
So the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday will be closed. St. Patrick's Day.
I think so.
When will the parades be in Auckland?
I'm not sure. They're usually around 3 o'clock, or usually before the Binghamstown one. Whenever the Binghamstown one is, it'll be before that.
That'll be on Monday.
Monday,
On Monday, and there's a parade in Binghamstown as well. And we'll have a chat about maybe the Belmullet parade after the break.
Yeah, no problem. We'll continue with the show with a little bit of music from Tradlib, and here's one entitled "The Flogging Set."
This is your community radio station, Erris FM.
This is your swinging station.
Welcome back to Erris FM. You're listening to Alternative Facts here on Erris FM on 90.8 and also on YouTube and errisfmradio.com.
That's the one.
Just before we go on to more national news, there's been a little bit of discussion about what's going on at the Solace Centre. Ted, possibly you can just fill us in a little bit about.
They're constantly doing some research there. Fergus Sweeney does a lot of research, and he has come up with some stuff there about mostly World War One wrecks around Eagle Island and the history of them and the things. And he's even got some film from some of the divers that were involved, and it's very interesting stuff. And I think he's going to release it as a podcast or something later in the year.
Yeah, sure. Well, Fergus is always doing a lot of research. So maybe
and speaking of podcasts, Erris FM's podcast up on Spotify in the last 30 days has been viewed by 1,061 people.
That's very good.
That's
very good.
So we're getting out
That's
there.
Erris
on the
FM's podcast.
Yep. That's Erris FM's podcast.
So we're getting there.
We're getting there. We're climbing.
Wherever there is.
Yeah. Well, there you go. We have people from listening all over the world, like especially with the podcasts, like they're reaching every corner.
It's Irish diaspora around the world. They love to keep in touch with.
Always. Everyone has a love of Erris, and that's the story at the end of the day.
Not just Erris.
Well, not just Erris. No, some people think of Donegal every now and then.
Well, you know the old saying, every savage loves his native shore.
But the one thing I have to say, the one thing I do love about Donegal was the year they bet the Dubs in the All-Ireland.
When was that? What year was that?
Oh, God.
72, was it?
72.
I think it was 72.
But that was it.
I was in the Cusick stand.
Well, I enjoyed it when they did that.
And I remember the winning point yet.
Uh-huh. And that comes from a dub.
That's dragging us quite a long way away from the research that Fergus is doing down at
There's
Solace.
the dub up there on the high seat supporting Donegal in All Ireland.
But no, the.
But sorry, that day I was there in
You were in the Cusick stand.
Cusick stand, and there was no. This was another day. Donegal and Mayo were playing.
Mm-hmm.
And
you can keep quiet about that one.
I was sitting now. I was sitting along with some Mayo people.
Yeah.
Or they were Mayo supporters, and they were looking at me wondering how the heck did a Donegal man get a Mayo All Ireland ticket?
And it does happen.
It does.
Yeah. Right. You were going to say there, Paul, or Ted?
Well, Solace is going strength to strength.
It's a fabulous centre.
And it was money well spent. And it's the restaurant there. You can get your breakfast or your meals, and I think it's doing a good trade as well. Good to see it being supported.
You get it at a better price than you could afford to cook.
Exactly. Very reasonable. So long may it prosper and go on. And of course, the trips to Innisky Islands and that will be starting now shortly again for the summer season. Sea safari, sea safari, and that.
Yeah, they were winners of some awards as well.
They won another tourist award again. They're doing quite well. That's the second or third one they've won.
Second, third one, yeah.
And but they do. They provide a good service.
The sea is getting very popular as a tourist amenity. I just wonder.
We have quite a lot of it.
Someday the sea angling might be revived.
But when you look at the surfing alone, like the attraction this area has to surfers, it's grown and grown every single year.
What is, yeah. Not only the surfing, but the windsurfing as well.
Mm.
I mean, windsurfing on Cross Lake is very popular.
And the amount of jet skis people own around this area is unreal when they come out when the sun shines. Huh?
Yeah.
And incidentally, one of them had to be rescued off the home ahead there
Oh,
a
my
couple of
God.
weeks ago. Wasn't jet ski,
Yeah.
Yeah.
the jet ski driver, or whatever you call them.
It's one thing that it's good to see it, but it also has a safety aspect, and anybody can go in and buy one of these things and just
Mhm.
put it in the water and take off.
No, you have to have respect for the sea.
You
my God.
have, but some training should be required, some safety training, the very basics.
Yeah.
And it's not alone here. I remember years ago when I was on a ship and we towed another ship into Penzance in Cornwall, and it was a beautiful day, flat calm, the middle of summer, loads of tourists around, and lots of boats came out around a small craft to look at us.
Yeah.
And this clown on a jet ski with a toddler child
Oh my God.
on it, neither of them having life jackets. I remember our bosun roaring at him, calling him all sorts of things to get in. But the man had no comprehension of the danger he was in, and the child was in. Just didn't register with him. With other boats passing, the wash could have turned him over.
Very easily.
The very basics. So people that are going on the water, please do a course or
Well, they should have some
talk to somebody who is
courses in marine skills.
in
But like it-
marine
but-
safety.
But if you
Safety,
have
yeah.
a boat or have a jet ski, you should have some form of license on the sea. Or at least you learn, the respect of the sea for one, and the safety aspects that you can take before you go out.
Yeah.
You know? Like having a child on a jet ski with you now, that should be a no-no.
Well,
Well,
you would imagine so. but,
Some people think it's entertainment to take risks. What kind of take risks that may be at the expense of other people
That's just
that have
it.
to go to their rescue?
Well, this is it. It's somebody has to come along and rescue these people.
Yeah, and they're taking
And
their lives in their hands to go
they're
out.
taking risks to do
help,
it.
You know?
So it's beware. The sea is a dangerous environment, and I've been at sea all my life, and I am afraid of the sea. And anyone that tells you, any professional seaman that tells you he's not afraid is a liar.
Oh, that's for sure.
Or
a fool.
Well, I was on the sea
Are
fishing
you
for many
afraid,
years.
Ted, or do you respect the sea?
I respect it,
You
but
respect it,
but fear is a great
Well, the fear is
teacher.
what keeps you on
your toes.
edge,
Yeah,
on your toes.
What if this happens? What if that
I
happens?
mean, the
think
realization of something can happen
Yes.
unless you take certain action. I think,
That's just it.
It's
I'm
it's a safeguard.
in agreement with you there that there should be some form of training before you go
should
out
be.
on these things.
It's we often hear people saying, after an accident, and how could they have been so stupid to do that? But unfortunately, some people are.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, there's negligence involved in a lot of accidents like that kind of thing, especially when you're doing a dangerous thing.
Yeah. Somebody sees watching television and he sees jet skis and he says, "Oh, that's great! Let's get one of them," and off he goes.
Oh God, no!
Yeah.
Not that simple.
But there's Solid says there's cultural heritage and cultural centre, it's got all local news and stories about Danish skis disaster and the whaling and
it's been added to all the time. The immigration history there is fantastic.
Yeah, I saw
Rosemary Geraghty did a fantastic job there.
Erris Exile reunion in London there recently as well. Where what they do there is Exiles in London. They organise Erris Exiles in London. They're always raising money to help good causes here in Erris. So they must be applauded for their efforts as well in being away from home and still keeping in touch with home. Not only keeping in touch, but kind of helping to maintain and build up the area.
Well, like this is like one of those things that, like being able to do the lotto online, you're able to do whatever club of your area, let it be Kilmore, let it be Balmullet. You know, you can do the lotto online, no matter where you are in the
Well,
world.
no matter where you are,
And
yeah.
you are giving support to your area by doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, of course, there's the chance of winning a few bob too, but the incentive is there. But like, it's money's like that coming through from, as you said, like different parts of the world, and just to support your area. Like, it's a great thing.
It's true what you say about the Erris exiles. They all seem to keep in contact with each other, and quite often I find out what's happening in this area by being told from London.
And they managed to capture some of the natives there and bring them home with them.
Oh God, stop!
Yeah.
God.
It's it's good to see the connections maintained, and especially that's we do give out about modern communications, but they do have their advantages too.
They do, yeah.
And that's one of them, that people can remain in contact.
Exactly, yeah.
You know, it's
Well, there's very few things in this world that there isn't some kind of
well, I'm sure
negative
Eddie,
effect.
yeah, I'm sure Eddie, you
dealing with
remember
them.
as well as I do when we were kids and even when we were young adults. The somebody immigrated to America. A letter was the
That was the communication.
the communication. A phone call was only if someone died.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's
or
all.
something.
Yeah.
Because the
yeah,
costs
yeah.
were
something else,
enormous.
yeah.
Now you can talk to them every day on
Oh,
the
yeah.
internet and free.
Well, sure, they're on Facebook and everything else.
Yeah,
and
well,
you can-
Facebook,
yeah.
WhatsApp, you name it.
I
like-
was. I did spend a few years in America, and I think I rang home once in the 5 years I was there, or something like that.
Yeah.
But it was always by some letter communication.
Yes, and it reminds me of a story of my grandmother when she was the postmistress in Blacksod, and somebody came in with a parcel, sending it to
Oh yeah,
her
yeah.
son in
well,
New York.
The
and,
parcel from America was an
well, this was
important
going the
thing,
other
yeah.
way. This was going from
Going the other
from
way,
Blacksod
yeah.
to, but there was nothing on it. And my grandmother asked this woman, "Who is it for?" And she said, "Tamashine, New York." And that was the address.
That was it. Yeah.
Did he get it?
Well, he did, but
Uh-huh.
there was a bit more on it than Tamashine, New York.
That was like Thomas in Black Sod.
Yeah.
All right. Well, before we leave the local news, just got to mention that the film club is having a screening of The Problem with People, starring Colin Meaney, on Thursday, the 20th at 8 p.m. here at the Civic Centre.
Yeah, no, I've previewed the movie myself, and I have to watch it in its entirety yet. But the pieces that I have watched, it looks a very entertaining movie. Of course, the Irish black comedy always comes across fabulous on the screen. So
Yeah,
it is one of
there
those.
we are now. That's another community in Erris that's doing his bit. Erris and Scroora.
Irish in Scroora, there's a lot of
doing a lot of work like that.
it's
yeah.
reviving maybe not reviving, but help to keep the trad going as well, because we have all the young kids that come in doing trad once a month, and they're absolutely fabulous.
Yeah. And now that I think about it, I believe Donald the Cat is on.
Oh, yeah, he's a big supporter of
Erris.
Erris FM. Yeah, America has Donald Trump. We have Donald the Cat.
Our Donald is better than the American Donald.
Oh, much better.
Yeah.
Causes much less trouble.
Well, that's for sure, and has a better hairstyle.
And it's all natural.
Yeah, basically.
Even though they are both orange.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
So, if we expand now a little bit and go on to national news, I suppose, almost international news, if we look at visits, two royal visits by
The visits that the people of Ireland always give out about every single year, when they said the money wasted on travelling over there to America, and then
But eventually they come around to thinking, well, maybe they're doing some good.
well, they
While they
are.
are wasting our
Yeah,
money.
well, it is good. It is good to keep in contact with all the big businesses of the world, and how are you going to do that is through the likes of Donald Trump and that. So keeping on the good side is always a
even
good
more
thing
so
too.
with the American companies.
Yeah,
you don't actually see the figures, but I see, listening to the news there and Michael Martin's visit, all the focus was on the White House, but he spent much more time with big American companies
Oh yeah,
Oh, he did.
than
Yeah.
he
Oh,
did
yeah.
with
that's just it.
Trump.
Yeah,
And,
Sure, he was all over. He was in Texas and a lot
Yeah,
of places.
he was in
Well, it's
the
like this-
headquarters.
and
of
he'll
lot
be
of
in
the
a few
big-
more places before he comes home.
Yeah.
And I think everybody just breathed a sigh of relief after the press conference with Donald Trump that nothing had exploded in
in his
He
face.
was-
in the
yeah,
room.
yeah. I think Michael is too cute. to,
Michael
get
wasn't
caught.
trumped like your man from Ukraine was.
Well, he did actually pull him up on a couple of occasions. He didn't totally lie down.
I know.
Of course, the explosions were left to the Burks.
oh my
Yes.
God.
Ah,
What he
fellow
did,
Mayo.
he did, huh?
our famous.
Let
Mayo
alone
family
are
of
they in
Burkes.
our national news, now they're in our international news.
Yeah.
They
And
are, but unfortunately, their international news does not do them a lot
Yeah,
of
well, it
credit.
won't do them any favors because, like,
No,
to go
no.
go to America and cause a ruckus, it's not a very good idea for
It's
you.
not a good idea
No.
at all.
But-
well,
And-
apparently, there I was reading in some when they were thrown out of the
Conference.
on the street outside, they immediately set up a bit of a press conference. But when they found out that there was no American journalists, there were only Irish journalists, they walked off.
They walked off, yeah. They were doing it for the publicity.
Because they didn't
Yeah.
get what they wanted, what they went out there
Exactly, yeah.
And,
yeah.
Things, I mean,
for. And
thing-
the American reporters knew not to take part in it. Because,
Well,
what is it? What is its
probably had
advantage
never
to them?
heard of
Like?
them up
No,
to
but that's
that.
it. There's no advantage for them to be there.
Well,
Like.
the thing about the Burks is kind of they had a good point to expose, but the kind of is they went about it in an awful way. I mean, they drew an awful lot of criticism on themselves by
Well, they're
their
called
their tactics, and these tactics in America was
But at home, like they've already accused the judge of changing stories, changing reports that were made, statements that have been made about the situation. Like they're accusing the courts of manipulating the law. So,
And unfortunately, President Musk
oh yes,
seems to be on their side. So I think that's why they went over
Yes.
thinking that they'd got a free pass.
Yeah, I think there was a
And-
lot of that there.
were they picked
It
up in
just
the
didn't
Tesla
work
at the
out.
airport?
Sorry,
Were they picked up in the Tesla at the airport?
they're not that stupid.
Musk is he's
Yeah,
He's
we
making-
can
he's
get
making-
onto him later.
he's
but-
making a name for himself too,
Yeah,
whatever the name is like.
We'll
That's
get
just
to him. We'll get to him later. But certainly the Burks have they've done themselves no favors there.
no,
and,
definitely not.
They didn't get the publicity that I believe at the party, at the dinner or whatever, it carried on and everybody was laughing and joking
Uh-huh.
and nobody was taking any heed of them.
No. And there wouldn't, because like
90% of the people there didn't know who the hell they were.
and that's why it ended up being a stupid thing to do, because
yeah.
as you said, they weren't known.
No.
So
But what were they trying to achieve?
trying to get international support. That's what it's about. They want to get onto the European and the American news.
But
No.
if you asked anybody in America what their original complaint was, nobody would know.
Nobody
because
would know
that-
who they were, never mind what they
No,
complained
they
was.
weren't. No,
I think as one of you said there, this thing that Musk got hold of it,
Mhm.
that seemed to encourage them
Yeah,
big time.
and that's why they thought there'd be
Musk,
reporters
well,
there.
He's making another kind of
No,
a name
we-
for
no,
No,
himself.
but
Right.
like as you said, like whether he showed interest or not, there was
Mm.
still no
Yeah.
American reporters there to take up on it. So
I didn't see any reports on CNN or any
No.
of the American
No.
televisions.
No.
it's not
Like
a story.
Ted said, there were no American journalists
Mhm.
there. It was an Irish function.
Well, it's like this. He wasn't taken out of school and tied to a fence and whipped to close to death, was he?
Mm.
So it's not news as they look for international. And I think it was a bad move they made going to the States.
Yeah, they
Don't
may
think
have beginning to realise that they're flogging a dead horse in
Yeah.
this country, and that they try to
They're looking to get
bring
it
it
out
in,
there.
make it international
Yeah.
to
That's what they're at.
up the ante a bit.
But because they've got as far as they can, now they're attacking the courts. They're attacking the judge that's handling the case, where about his wages that he's still a salary that he's still receiving, and now that they can't get anything out of that, like they've done their attack on the court and they've got nowhere with it. So now they're looking for different avenues of keeping it going.
If you can't accept that a judge has a right to judge things and to have his own opinions as well and things like that, then thing is what are you protesting against?
Well, like when you think about it,
somebody else must have the same rights as you.
Yeah, but like as you said, we were talking earlier before the show, and you had said that you hadn't heard of the books before this, but yet they were standing outside Castlebar Hospital calling doctors and nurses mothers.
Yeah, no, I did. Well, they didn't get much publicity for that. No, it might have been in the local press, but I didn't see it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was on local, but of course they were posting all their stuff.
And
on
we
Facebook
didn't have it here on local
media.
news either.
Yeah, well, but again, coming back to at the end of the day, to me they've made a mistake in trying to bring it internationally. It's backfired basically.
Yeah, it's
and now I hope the trip to America will do a lot of good, and that Micheál Martin will achieve some of his aims and things. Our local man Derek Leary is over there too.
Yeah.
He's in different parts of America.
Well, it's like the problem is when you see it's all the tariffs that are being put on things like steel and aluminium now is crazy, because all it's going to do is bring up prices. It's going to put jobs at risks.
Yeah,
you know?
Tariffs. We'll be talking about tariffs later on.
Yeah, when we get
when we go to international news.
Well,
one thing that I noticed, moving on onto another bit of national news, is there was yet more calls this week for the Irish diaspora to be given votes in this country, and I wondered what you two think about.
Say that again. The Irish diaspora to be given
votes here.
Oh yeah. Postal votes like they have in America or something like that.
To physically be allowed
to elect
to vote.
The government. Yeah.
Do you think that somebody whose link with the country is that they were born here, but they don't pay their taxes here, should they have a vote?
I would definitely say no, and perhaps I'm biased in that, but one of the reasons that I say it is, as a merchant seaman, we were one of the only countries in Europe that did not have a vote. Yet we paid all our taxes here. We worked for Irish companies. Mm-hmm. We weren't allowed vote. Every other European country
had a postal
vote. Merchant seaman had a postal vote.
Yeah.
So until we look after our own,
yeah,
who actually are here paying tax, I say no.
Mm-hmm.
There's a difference between Irish residents who are working abroad, like you did, or something like that, and Irish immigrants who are permanently abroad. There's a difference between the two, wouldn't there? I mean, there shouldn't be no question about it. You, temporarily out of the country and resident of Ireland, should have a vote.
Working for an Irish company.
Yeah.
But there's another factor too. I think why I'd say no. You've got to live in the country to experience the problems.
Yeah.
And the pluses and the minuses. And unless you're living here, you're not going to know that.
No, definitely not.
And why should somebody in Australia decide, our road system here in North Mayo or something like that? They're not going to have any knowledge of it. And why should they have a vote in it?
Yeah.
Well, I'm just using that as an example now.
If you gave them,
but it still works across the board.
Would you stop? Would you the first generation, second generation? Would you go a few generations back?
Well, the Irish soccer team go back a long. Grandmothers they go to, or grandfather. Exactly, I don't know. Where would you stop?
Would be a problem.
What was it Jack Charlton said? If your granny had a budgie called Brendan, you were in with a shout.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. That's my opinion.
I would agree with Ted in that. I would,
Yeah, same here
No,
now.
no, the fact that somebody temporarily out of the country should have a vote, yes.
Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah.
I
Well, it
believe
doesn't
that,
make sense, you know.
Well,
like,
in that sense, Eddie, they did, which annoyed us more in the Merchant Navy.
Mm.
All our people who worked in Brussels,
yeah.
they had a vote.
They had a vote.
Oh,
yeah.
yes. But we weren't allowed. We wouldn't be entertained.
Why was there any reason given for it?
Probably because they thought there's not enough of us there to make a difference. But
Every vote makes a difference.
Nevertheless, it was our rights were being.
Was it anything
Our
to
rights were being-
do with the or kind an address abroad or
No. Our address was Irish Ship in 1921, Aston Key, Dublin. That was our address. It was just because they didn't think we were worth bothering about.
But very unfair.
Yeah,
Very
unfair.
unfair.
it seems a bit kind
Like
of
that interferes with your civil
Seems-
rights.
Well, it's your right if you're a citizen,
Yeah.
and a born citizen and living in the country.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just because you
well,
go over to do a job somewhere
Denying
and
your
you're
liberties.
back, you're coming back then.
What you say? Somebody else who went over and was living in Brussels.
Yes,
did have a vote,
all the
yeah,
civil
yeah.
servants working in the
It's,
EC have
it's
a
a
vote.
contradiction of
Yeah,
rights.
it is.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, there are two different types of votes in Ireland. There are, and as a foreigner, it actually impinges on me. I'm entitled to vote in local and national elections because I'm a resident, but I'm not allowed to vote in constitutional affairs. So I'm not entitled.
Oh, you couldn't-
I'm
not
not
in a
entitled to a
referendum,
vote
yeah.
in a referendum, and I'm not allowed to vote for the president either.
That don't make sense
Oh.
either, does it?
Because that
sounds
is
a bit.
that is a
It's
constitutional
a kind of
rather than an economic.
Mhm.
yeah. It's a bit of an anomaly, all right. But
Well, I agree
know
with
you're-
it
you're-
actually, but
But I suppose it's the way the laws of land have been written.
I'm sure.
here.
I mean, a
And
constitution can be changed at any time with a referendum. So, kind of, if there's something unjust in the constitution, it should be changed. And that sounds.
yeah, but
Well,
as a
unjust to
foreigner,
me,
I'm not
yeah.
allowed to vote for those.
you couldn't vote for the president.
I couldn't vote for
Yeah.
a president, and I couldn't
Or a
vote for
referendum.
any change in the constitution.
well, with no disrespect for the president, but that's probably the least important.
Yes,
It is, yeah, it's a figure.
but it is technically
know.
part of the constitution of.
Yeah. But as I say, if you're allowed to vote in matters pertaining to your county and to where you live, I would say that's more important than voting
Yeah.
as to who's going to be president. But
So-
as I say, with no disrespect to the president, so
I could-
it's a
I could
funny,
see
it's
that.
a funny kind of a
It is a funny kind of a law.
setup. Yeah,
And can,
I mean, I can't see anything wrong with the alternative being in place where the Irish diaspora, I'm talking about those born here but resident abroad, couldn't vote in matters constitutional, but not have a vote in what's going to happen to the roads in Mayo, or indeed who's going to be running the country for the next 5 years.
yeah.
I mean, possibly that's a sop to those who are calling for it, and I don't see that anything intrinsically wrong with that. But I don't think people who have no financial clout in this, or or dog, a constitutional dog in this fight, should have the right to decide who's in charge.
But apart from that, but it's when you come back to like given the rights, how do they go about it?
Well, if you're an Irish citizen,
No, but do we have to make a change in law, or
well, one of the biggest changes would have to be to keep the electoral roll
yeah?
at least in the same century, because there are so many people who are still entitled to vote who
Yeah, but that is-
haven't, they've been in the ground 25 years.
But that'd have to be changes in the constitution rather than law.
I don't
wouldn't
think
it?
so. That would be just basically somebody pulling their finger out.
Mm.
well, it would. I was thinking they'd have to apply for each election,
Yeah,
and that generates a lot of paperwork for the civil service.
More work, more hours,
And,
more money.
All the poor civil servants.
Checking up on you to see are you eligible.
But you were working for the Irish Merchant Navy and your rights taken away.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
Like, that is wrong.
Yeah.
That's wrong.
Yeah.
That's wrong. There's
And like, no
doubt
matter
about
what,
it.
your address was in Dublin. Maybe in
The
like a
company's
PO.
address was
yeah,
in Dublin. My
maybe
address
like-
was here at home.
Yeah, but it might have been like a PO box, but it
And
didn't
what-
make any
what
difference.
happens
You
with
should have the
Irish-
right.
Irish Army for the
They're allowed.
peacekeeping.
They can vote.
The
They
other-
can vote.
if you're working for the government, and the army are,
Yeah, you can.
you do get a postal vote.
Well, we were a government company. Irish Shipping was.
Yeah.
It actually should have been an inclusion of the same, like the
As I say,
army itself.
I suspect it was because we wouldn't have had a big influence on an election, and how many people.
So
from
basically,
Mayo
they
were away.
didn't. Basically, they didn't want the hassle of getting
Yeah.
it done.
But all the other, as I say, all the other European countries have it.
Yeah.
Had it, still have it. But,
Does it sound like we elect the wrong type of politicians in this country?
not
Well, there's always
necessarily,
aspects of right and wrong taken.
Or is it something that we, the people of Ireland, are as guilty as the politicians about? Seeing as we don't make an issue of it?
It is. It's anything to do with the marine world in Ireland is it's not even on the back burner. It hasn't come out of the drawer yet.
We gave away
We gave
our
away everything,
marine
and,
world. I
we
mean,
have no-
that has been gone.
Mhm.
I mean, at the moment, we're you have the not the Taoiseach, but the Taoiseach talking about getting more ships for the Navy, bring the strength up to 12 ships. We can't man 2
Yeah.
at the moment.
Mhm.
And he's on about a squadron of jet fighters.
Yeah. Remember reading that.
Again, the Air Corps don't have enough pilots to man the what they have. So I don't know where these guys are living in a
What kinds of
Is it just they have so much money and they want to spend it?
in how it deals with the news of the day?
It's a
rather than
soundbite.
on-
It's a soundbite.
Yeah,
That's
it's a
the only
soundbite,
thing.
yeah.
It's nothing else.
It's,
I mean, we used to say that this was the yesterday or tomorrow's fish and chip wrapper, but now it's only a 15-minute lifespan for the nonsense that people say. It just gets them out of the firing line immediately. Say some nonsense and it'll all be forgotten in half an hour because there'll be somebody else saying some nonsense.
And the unfortunate thing is we'll come to this later. We were talking earlier about what's on social media and how misinformation spreads. But will we take a musical break and we'll
We most
back?
certainly
Yeah.
can. And taking this the weekend that's in it, we'll take a local artist, and that is Red Conley, and one of his own compositions. Here's Belmullet Town.
In 1824, the town of Belmullet opened its doors. William H. Carter owned the land and he thought the town here should be planned. He hired a man called Patrick Knight who drew up the plans for the site. The Castlebar Road helped it to thrive and soon the strangers began to arrive. To the square, the dock, the canal and the quay, between two bays surrounded by sea. The land was low on Carter's site, but oh, what a town was planned by night. Many a visitor travelled the miles, the Royal Hotel kept them in style. J.M. Singh, G.B. Shaw and Lloyd George all gazed in awe. Jack B. Yeats and Maud Gonne, John McCormack sang us a song. De Valera, sure he came too, and Percy French admired the view. Of the square, the dock, the canal and the quay, between two bays surrounded by sea. The land was low on Carter's site, but oh, what a town was planned by night. The SS Carter steamed its way from Pickle Point to Sligo Bay, transporting cargo and people each way, some who would never return to stay. Many have left for a faraway shore, oh Bogle Joe, not easy a store, but the capital town of Erris their home, no matter where they did wander or roam. From the square, the dock, the canal, and the quay, between two bays surrounded by sea, the land was low on Carter's sight, but oh, what the town was grand and daughters and sons have all met their match. Great Willie Joe rose high in Crow Park. She made Dever, ran like the wind, and Annie Mariah comes round the bend. They say it's the people that make a place, an act of kindness, a smiling face. We're blessed to know we have all that. Now round the corner comes Donald the Cat. To the square, the dock, the canal, and the quay, between two bays surrounded by sea. The land was low on Carter's sight, but oh, what a town was that! Bale on Wirral, the Maya Pio, Maya just not break on the way, oh, Maya Cush Claddy, lay Sealvan's throw, Maya a man on Greenhill Joe. The town of Belmullet continues to grow, our tidy town in County Mayo, a town by the shore where the pace is slow, a town we'll cherish forevermore. And the square, the dock, the canal, and the quay, between two bays surrounded by sea, the land was low on Carter's sight, but oh, what a town was that for night. The town of the barony for all sides, who come to trade by road or tide, the side below, the side behind, the side above, you'll all there find. We now celebrate 200 years, a town that's known laughter and tears, but the people so friendly set it apart. Here's to Belmullet, the pride of our heart. The square, the dock, the canal, and the quay, between two bays surrounded by sea, the land was low on Carter's sight. Oh, what a town was that by night. The square, the dock, the canal, and the quay, between two bays surrounded by sea, the land was low on Carter's sight, but oh, what a town was that by night.
Yes, there we go. And that was Red Connolly with Belmullet Town, especially for the Paddy's weekend. And we're going to hand over to Paul, and he's going to bring us on a bit more on what we're going to cover.
Well, I mean, we were sort of discussing whether who should have a vote from abroad and what they should constitutionally be allowed to vote for. I mean, I've given my full penneth. In the UK, you were wondering about how difficult it would be to keep the register of electoral voters live. In the UK, it's once you're on the register, it's very easy to keep that up to date. You only have to do literally 2 minutes on the computer, and you can change your address, etc. So there's no real cost difficulty to keeping the information current.
Like I remember back in the 80s.
I know people from here who are 15 years in Australia and are still on the register.
But I remember back in the 80s, and it was publicised in the papers that everyone had the right to a postal vote.
Everyone,
Irish, that is.
Irish
Yes.
Resident, not
citizens.
Irish diaspora though.
Irish, back in the day, I remember reading that everyone had the right. But was that a reporter putting it up there, or a politician who made a bad statement, or I don't know?
Which,
It's never been the case.
It's never been the case.
Politicians making it.
Ted's situation proves that that's not true.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But the deniability is in youth route. So
When I moved over here for a period of 15, at the time, it was for a period of 15 years, I would still be entitled to a postal vote for national elections in the UK, but I wouldn't be entitled to a vote in local elections because obviously I'm not a poll taxpayer or a.
Yeah, maybe that made a bit of sense too, Paul, would it?
But I would still be allowed to vote for whichever party I thought was going to deal with my tax affairs best or other people's tax affairs best.
So you could vote.
Which
you could vote general and local elections. So that was your.
I would be entitled to vote in general elections, but not local elections.
Not local, no.
And as I was not resident in the country, I didn't think it was fair that I did vote for them. So since I moved, I haven't voted.
Yeah.
In
I see your
British
point,
elections.
That's going back to what I said about these people not having knowledge of what's going on here, the pros and the cons.
Yeah.
And also, while we're on it there, you know, there was this movement, every now and again it props up, of giving the vote to 16-year-olds.
Yeah. That's
and again, I make the same answer to that. Okay, some of them are very aware politically, but the vast majority are not.
I know.
I would disagree with that. I think an awful lot of them are very well versed.
To be honest, I know
on.
a lot in their mid-20s and even mid-30s and haven't got a clue about it.
Oh yeah,
I think it's too young.
But I think so. Yeah. I think because I'd be of the opinion if you put up some pop star or other, we'll vote for him.
Yeah,
and regardless of what the guy stands for,
but it's like
as opposed to, say, for instance, the United States, where they put up a reality show host, and
no, but it's like
that could never happen.
But it's like following the GAA. When it comes to the All Ireland, if your team has made it to Croke Park, everyone wants a ticket. Yet none of them have gone to a game building up to that. None of the Winter League, none of the Championship, and they're fighting for but they're fighting for that ticket, for the All Ireland. It kind of goes the same way,
Well, what you said there, Paul, about voting for the orange thing in America, celebrities here. I don't think it would work here because in the last general election, there was a few celebrities. Fianna Fáil had Grania Shoga up, I can think of her straight away, and she came bottom of the poll in Galway.
Yeah.
So and she's a celebrity. So
she was Radio on the Gelter there.
Well, she was, and T.G. Carr, but she didn't. She came, I think, last.
She was way down anyhow.
Way down,
The
celebrity
when Dana ran for president.
Yeah. The celebrity thing didn't work here.
Didn't work.
She didn't make it.
No, didn't work.
No.
In fact, it brought skeletons out of the closet and destroyed her.
She was well known nationally.
Yeah.
And well respected.
Yeah.
Nationally.
Well, I see the some.
Well, as
I say, trying it again with your woman that used to sing in the Eurovision for us. She runs the animal home in Dublin now, but they're talking about her for the presidency.
Oh,
some
Linda
Martin. Yes, correct.
Linda Martin,
yeah.
Is that because she has the name Martin?
She's gone off the market now.
Oh, she has, but there's
it's only the likes of us that would remember. The 16-plus-year-olds would not remember.
No.
But yet there's some group or something backing her or party. I'm not sure which.
I think she came back on the scene maybe about 10 years ago or so.
She was looking at Mary McAleese made it. She was RTE.
She was RTE, yeah.
But did she make it because she was RTE, or did she make it?
Well, it helped, I would imagine.
Well, it would have helped.
Yeah. But she did lots of TV programs. She came across as somebody that was, knew what was going on.
But she made a good president too.
She did, yeah.
And our own Mary Robinson.
Oh, fabulous woman.
Yeah.
In fact, there was a documentary shown here there not so long ago.
Another Burke.
Oh God!
Different branches of the tree, though.
But the connection to Aaron Moore. in County Donegal.
Oh, we're back to Donegal.
We're back to Donegal. But it's hard to say, but I don't think it would be a good idea going on the 16-year-olds. I don't think it would be a good idea to.
No, I don't think so. I don't think
so.
it is.
Are we
I mean,
unanimous on that?
Well,
again,
you could have a situation where you have one 16-year-old who's well up on politics, and it'd say, "Well, I'm going down and going voting." Oh, sure, hang on, I'll come with you. And then 10 mates are going who haven't got a clue. Who are you voting for? Oh, I'll do the same.
Yeah.
So it's not a good way of voting, is it?
No, I mean,
No.
give them a chance to grow up first.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, let
Now,
them
there are some
let them
out
enjoy
there.
their youth.
There are some out there who got great heads on
There
their
are
shoulders,
some
and that's it.
who would like it. Yeah.
But politically, I don't think the strength is there.
No, there is no doubt, as we say, there is some of them out there who are switched on and know. But depending on the social media for information, and we'll come to that again.
And as you said already today about conspiracy stuff, you know,
can you depend on social media to be truthful?
No. There you go,
No.
and you can be easily sucked in. You know.
Yeah. Well, the other thing I just see in today's paper, which is national, is that telecom prices will be increasing by 5 or 6%.
Telecom prices.
Telecom.
It's already done, yeah.
Telecom, internet.
3.4% is what they said.
Is it?
Yeah, 3.4%.
For what, telephone and
Telephone, broadband.
Yeah. Everything up.
And online TV services will be the same as well, I suppose.
And nothing to do with the historic tariffs.
No,
Well, it's like this.
Priced in anyway.
You see,
every year.
What happens? It's very easy to understand that you have your phone and you have your broadband. But the thing is, you have server centers that are supplying all this energy, and those server centers burn an awful lot of electricity.
And still we drive along the road and watch the line still dragging the ground.
Well, that's it. Like
they want to up the price.
It's coming
for the service we get.
It's coming into the cost of what it costs to run. Like the more people you have going online and searching this and searching that, the more energy that's been burnt.
What profit does air make?
Oh no, I'm not arguing about that part. I'm just saying that'd be one of their reasonings. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying I'm not in agreement.
They make millions.
Oh, stop! Should ESB the fortune they make?
I saw in one of the papers there during the week that the government should nationalise the telecommunications
No, but you take it what the CEO said after the storms, after Ian. That's the people are going to have to pay for the repairs that had to be done during the storm. Do you know?
So the people are paying anyhow.
Yeah, and yet you go to claim for something on the insurance, and they'll say, "Well, no, we can't pay you because it's an act of God." So one is saying it's the customer's fault that the damage was done, so you're going to have to pay for it.
I think he pulled in his horns.
He pulled in his horns, but the thing is, he still came out and made the statement.
But if the people have to pay, think of a price and double it.
And then I heard someone said to me there only a couple of days ago that they're on about the introduction of water charges again.
Oh, I think they backed off that.
Yeah,
they backed off that because that was
reporting to people that use excessive water.
Yeah,
was the thing.
Yeah.
But they got a report on that was the last government.
Yeah,
but I can't see any political party being rushing into.
Oh God,
no
charges after the
It's too early in the run.
when it was talked about before. It wasn't popular at all. But they were thinking of charging for all water in those days.
But the amount of protests, like it was unreal. People that turned out in their throws, and that was it. And they had no choice but take the charges off.
Yes, and after it was a bit of a non-runner, but. We shall see. But we were talking there about social media, and we were talking off air earlier about it. And the best example I've seen of that lately is that collision in the North Sea between the anchored tanker and the medium container ship that hit it. And as you all have seen on Facebook, the comments
Oh God.
are unbelievable.
The conspiracy
Theories. This is
Conspiracy,
it's
deliberate.
and people actually believe it.
But that's the problem with social media. If it's put look professionally enough and written convincingly enough, people do tend to believe what they read.
But is there any way the social media can be controlled?
Well, that's what they've been trying for.
Until
I don't.
Where there's a will, there's a way, wouldn't it?
until the social media companies themselves are held responsible for the nonsense that is published on their platforms, and I do use that word properly because they are publishers, and they should be held to exactly the same strictures as TV and newspapers.
Yeah, but as they say,
if newspapers or the TV promulgated the stuff that is put on social media, they would be shut down.
Yeah, but their argument is that it is the cost of putting in place to
says
keep
the
an eye
richest
on
man
honest-
in the world.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying this. I'm not saying it's right. But I was saying this is what they come back is that the
They
cost,
say they can't afford it because
that's it, because the cost, what they'd have to put in place, like they'd have to employ to people to.
they'd have
for
to
one-
employ people.
Yeah,
Oh
but this,
my God.
no, but this is what I'm saying. This is what their argument is, that they'd have to employ so many people to
And your
to
man
produce
would- your man
algorithms,
wouldn't have
Well,
next
to be
ability
online
next year.
viewers, and
You wouldn't.
know, not a great argument for them, but,
No.
but this is what they come back
Sea
with.
thing.
Yeah.
All they have to employ is one person who had experience of being at sea,
Mhm.
and just to put up with something and say this is all rubbish.
Yeah.
And but the danger is people. It's hard to keep people off it. Making comments, I understand, but making such stupid comments.
Yeah. But like you or I can just go onto Facebook and put anything up
Anything you want. Yeah.
And if we make it
Yeah.
look convincing,
Yeah.
I guarantee there's a percentage of people who see it will believe it.
Yeah, but Ted.
Well, it was obviously this thing in the North Sea was obviously premeditated because
That's what
the
Facebook says.
captain of the container ship was a Russian,
Yeah.
and the
cook
the
was
tanker
Chinese.
the tanker was full of
Putin
aviation fuel for the US
Yeah.
Air
But,
Force. So it's obviously it was
Can we take that statement and put it forward?
But it's been.
Can you
It's
stand over that statement?
I'm not quite sure if
That
this
would
is-
be a
this
bad
is-
meme if we cut that out.
I'm not quite sure if this is Erris FM policy.
No.
But Ted.
Other points might have equal relevance.
But that's the sad part. Like it's like sitting around
You
having
see,
a.
we have to abide by certain rules, and
Yeah,
I
but
have
that's
to
it. Like if we
I want-
us
I
just
want-
sitting around and one person to turn around and make a statement,
I want
make
to-
it sound convincing.
I want to ask a
One of you
question.
might believe it. You know.
Ted, now, like an aircraft, there's a black box. There's
Yeah.
nothing like that in a ship, is there?
there is no.
There is,
Was
yeah.
there?
Yeah.
And can that not be accessed now?
Oh, it
from-
can. Yeah.
Can and will.
And and the people that have access to that black box could not stand up and tell what happened.
Oh well, for legal reasons, they won't. The MCA, the Marine Coast Guard Agency in Britain, are in charge of the inquiry now,
Yeah.
and
Take
they will
months.
not say anything.
They have never had a good record.
Well, they're not bad actually.
You
but
mean they'll give us all a chance to put something up on Facebook or this? that,
Oh, yeah.
but,
well,
You'll have a while,
They,
yeah.
they
Yeah.
can't stop that. They'll say nothing until they come to their conclusion.
They have to do their full
then
investigation before they make a statement.
Then they'll make a
That's it.
statement.
Yeah.
But it's so ridiculous the things that are coming out. And one is the conspiracy theory that
yeah.
it's because you had a Russian captain on a German-owned ship registered in Portugal, and that was one vessel. The other one is Swedish-owned, registered in America because they had a charter to the American Air Force.
And what about the fuel for the American
That's
Air Force?
that
yeah?
one. But the shipping today is so international.
Yeah.
And another theory that's keeps coming out. If it was a British crew, it wouldn't have happened. Such nonsense. I mean, these guys aren't trained, they're monkeys.
Oh.
Every country, including Russia,
Isn't
have
that right,
some
Sheeta?
excellent seamen and they have some idiots.
Less
Yeah.
less than
Same.
ideal.
Same
In this day and age, with radar and telecommunication and everything else on board a ship, that should not have happened.
It shouldn't have happened. but
Accidentally.
Somebody obviously
Made a mistake.
wasn't watching it or fell asleep
Mm.
or whatever. It was either way. The bottom line, it was human error.
Well, that person should by now be in custody somewhere.
Well, the captain's
They
in
are.
custody because
Well, he
but he
he's
mightn't
the
have been
man
on
in
watch.
charge,
He
but
mightn't have been on watch.
It mightn't have
He
been
could have
his
been in his
fault at
bunk.
all. He's just responsible, but it mightn't be his
Yeah.
fault.
But the main thing that is not coming out anywhere, that no one, is the fact that these ships are running around Europe, and especially on short sea journeys, undermanned.
Mhm.
And it means that those on watch on the bridge are working excessive hours. There is a thing called, you have to fill in every day, hours of rest.
Yeah.
And this
A
is
bit
an
like a
official
tach-
document.
Like a tachograph on a truck.
Yes.
Yeah.
but
Except
they're
it's,
being flogged
Except it's human.
left, right, and centre.
Yeah.
And if anyone of the crew, it's the captain's responsibility, these things are all filled in correctly and truthfully,
Mhm.
which they seldom are, that these are not adhered to whatsoever because they don't have the men to do it. A lot of their ships, you have only 2 deck officers, the captain and the mate. Now, you do a short sea journey, you're only in for 3 hours in these small container ships.
Yeah.
You're back at sea. Even when you're off, the vibration, the noise that comes, you're not getting proper rest.
Mhm.
And this leads to people falling asleep when they
And
should be
making
on
mistakes.
watch. And that is the most common cause of accidents at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Not a word being said about
in
it.
other
No matter
words,
what equipment you have.
we,
No matter what equipment you
we
have.
still haven't learned from the Titanic.
No.
Well,
Well,
more importantly, coastal waters around the UK, especially up the east coast, the North Sea, they are very busy shipping lanes because
Oh, yes.
everything that comes through the English Channel is going up and going to Europort in Rotterdam, which is the busiest port in the world.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, maybe there's more vigilance where traffic is heavy, is there?
Well, not alone traffic being heavy, but now it's 10 years since I was up there. But in the North Sea, off the German coast and the Dutch coast, and now the British coast, you've got all these offshore wind farms,
Yeah.
and they're taking up more sea room. So the lanes, navigation lanes, are getting narrower and narrower and
Yeah.
more restricted,
Hmm.
which is concentrating the traffic.
And as
closest
you
that
said,
they can.
it's some human error.
Human error.
Hmm.
Nearly, 95% of accidents at sea in collision wise are human error.
But it's like the ferry that went down there a few years ago.
Oh, the Free Enterprise.
Because the doors didn't shut properly.
The doors weren't shut at all.
Yeah, but there's human error again.
Human error.
Human error.
Each
yeah.
one thought the other fellow was doing
Yeah.
the thing, and
There you go.
result no one did
Mhm.
it. It's a human error.
So out with the conspiracy theories, basically.
Oh, this is.
Mm.
I wouldn't
But as you
believe
said,
it
it's
again.
amazing how fast they jump on these things, though,
Yeah.
to
yeah,
create
yeah.
news that's
Yeah.
untrue. It's
But-
crazy.
Yeah,
It
because-
takes one idiot to
Mm.
to come up with this thing.
But
and
the sad
put it
thing
down.
is, but
But
those
it's all the
idiots.
idiots that believe it.
Yeah, but it's them idiots. They convince themselves that it's true. Then
Oh yeah,
That's
yeah.
the sad
Oh, your
part,
man
too.
said it.
Cons-
Yeah.
Conspiracy, negligence, or accident,
Uh-huh.
whichever, I don't know.
they never went to the moon.
Yeah.
Incidentally, the kind of people who have been 9 months on the moon are coming home.
No,
Well,
they're in space, not on
In
the
space.
moon.
Oh, well, no, in space.
I was
yeah.
watching a comedy show, a comedy panel show there once, and there was one of the comedians said he was doing a show at one stage, and there was 2 scientists that I don't know which company they were working for, but anyway, they came on, and he says, "Is it true they went to the moon?" Well, they said they went to the moon. No, he said, "Did they go to the moon?" They said they went. And these are only like
That sounds like a politician.
young scientists who aren't convinced that they went to the moon. So like it's, and that's because of all the conspiracy theories over the years, you know.
But just before we leave that North Sea collision, there's one thing that I will guarantee my life on now.
Yeah.
The Russian captain will be hung out to dry. And it didn't matter if he was British, Irish, Russian. He's going to be the fall guy.
Right.
The man might have been in his bunk. I don't know. But
he will be.
But there's no doubt in the world he will take the rap.
So no matter who does the investigation, he's going to be the scapegoat anyway.
And the people cracking the whip,
in the
over
office
him
ashore
are not.
No. They will be.
But
Is
it'll be all.
that the international law, Ted? Is that the law?
Marine
law.
Well, he's been paid. He's the captain. He's there to take the rap.
Yeah.
But
nevertheless, it may not be fair, but it's legal.
It's legal. It's not
legal,
fair because he's under pressure from the office. They want to cut the manning. They want to cut the cost. They want to cut everything, and they make him fill in all this paperwork. I mean, there was a case there some years ago. A cruise ship collided in the English Channel with another smaller coaster, and the reason that the collision occurred was the second officer who was on watch on the cruise liner was busy filling in the garbage report for Dover.
Yeah.
He didn't.
There you go.
He was doing the paperwork. So much paperwork to do. Instead of
doing his job
in navigation safely, he was doing all this paperwork that he had to do.
And again, because there was no cover for him, he was taken away from his position to do the paperwork.
And I can understand it because I've seen it. I've done it myself. Yeah. Being involved in as chief engineer, taking fuel, taking the bunkers.
Yeah.
Take me 2 hours to take the fuel, probably 2.5 hours. Take me over 2 hours to do the paperwork.
My God.
Yeah.
For that,
it's crazy.
Ridiculous.
Absolutely crazy.
And that was only arse covering for the office.
Oh yeah.
Not for
always.
But the paperwork, if the paperwork needed to be done, it's the owner's responsibility to make sure that there is adequate crew to do it.
That's where the problem is.
It shouldn't have been down to the man who was busy doing another job.
Exactly, and that used to be the way it was, Paul, in the old days when you had proper manning.
There was cover.
Captain and navigation did navigated. You had the purser who did all the paperwork for the customs and so on.
There should be clerical staff to do all the paperwork.
Only there was one man did it all. But that's all he did.
But that was his job.
They took that away.
In your case, the chief engineer was doing the paperwork.
Yeah,
which is a waste.
Along with the job, you do the job and the paperwork.
Yeah,
which was a waste of ability or a waste of
which gives more chance of human error happening. Yeah, you know. And as you said, like this Russian captain now, he's going to be the scapegoat. He's going to
he's going to get the right.
If you're in a hurry to do it, you're liable.
Especially seeing as he's Russian. I mean, that's
instead it didn't matter what nationality you were. It's going to happen.
But the fact that he's Russian means that there's going to be very few people shouting his corner.
Yeah,
but as I said,
that's true.
It was a Portuguese registered ship, German owned, Russian captain. That shows you the trail of
and the crew from
Philippines, I think.
Probably.
Filipino. It shows you the way international shipping has gone now to cut costs and to get over problems. It's all.
Somebody will come up with the idea that the captain was appointed by Putin.
Well, they will, no doubt. No, it was actually my last job at sea. Was on an Irish flagged ship.
Yeah.
And it was a pleasure in a way. Okay, there was a lot of paperwork, but everything was above board. And it was a government owned ship.
Oh, right.
So it shows you that, the difference between that and a commercial run is
well, commercial is all about profit.
That's what it is, yeah. It is very true. Very, very true. Sad that things like this happen, but They happen.
Yeah, they happen, and I think looking forward, it's going to increase the incidents. As I said already, around Britain, I've noticed in the last 12 months the amount of groundings, smaller vessels grounding. It's enormous compared to.
Well, no matter what the outcome of it is, it's not going to enforce crew replacements or crew.
No.
But the thing is,
getting
these
crew back
groundings
in
are
there.
not as a result of any systemic change with the maritime
Terrain.
authorities.
Mhm.
It's down to less experienced and smaller crews.
Not so much the experience; it's down to tiredness.
Yeah,
They
but
do have to have the experience
Fatigue.
now.
Fatigue is the big problem. At sea now.
Yeah. Too much work because of the lack of crew.
Less men to do more work.
Yeah.
Why is it so hard to employ people to go to sea?
No, it's not employed.
not
It's
hard
not
to
hard to
employ
employ
them.
them if you pay them.
They're only
It's a
giving
cut
it so
cost.
much.
Just cut
Yeah.
costs, yeah.
Yeah. It's cost-cutting exercise.
We don't.
And at the end of the day, once they're outside territorial waters, it's very, if you have an accident and you create untold damage to the environment, that's just tough, basically, as far as they're concerned.
Yeah, but wouldn't you think that government-owned seagoing companies should not be worried about costs? There should be.
Government-owned ones, but there's
Well,
so
these-
few government-owned ones now that only
But
research ships.
yours was government-owned.
Yeah.
anyway,
It was a research vessel, but commercial trade. There's no government. I don't think there's
Well,
anywhere in the world now. that-
Profit is the important thing. in
They're a
commercial.
law to their own, really.
There's no. I mean, when I went to sea first, it was an Irish company, Irish Shipping. They were government owned. They were set up during the war to feed the country when we had no ships. But that is gone.
So are the regulations different?
No, the regulations are the same.
Yes,
that some
yet
people-
commercial can get away with.
Some people
can-
adhere to the rules and
Yeah,
some people don't.
Yeah.
Bare minimum.
My God.
Well, it's the same in every walk of life. Where profit is to be made, profit takes
Mhm.
precedence.
Yeah.
Oh,
very
yeah.
true.
And they will come up with the no doubt it'll be thrown up this thing somewhere in this inquiry, this hours of rest,
Yeah.
and they will be properly filled in
Mhm.
and signed. And
You mean the
A total work of fiction.
paperwork will
Yeah,
be
but
right?
that's what I was just about to say. Yeah, just because
paperwork will be right. It will be
just
a total
because
work
it's
of
written
fiction.
in doesn't mean it's true.
But anyway,
Yeah.
we shall we advance to some
We shall. We shall. We
more
shall. We shall.
music and
See, we'll
we
give
come
you.
back with some more comedy then from
Oh,
international
oh,
affairs.
dear.
Well, yeah. So here's Michael S. Torher with Hard Times.
Let us pause in life's pleasures and count as many tears while we all soothe sorrow and the poor. There's a song that will linger forever in our ears. Oh, hard times come again no more. It's a song, a sigh of the weary. Hard times come again no more. Many days you have lingered around my cabin door. Oh, hard times come again no more. While we see earth and beauty and music light and gay, there's a frail form fainting at the door. Though their voices are silent, their pleading looks will say, oh, hard times come again no more. It's a song, a sigh of the weary. Hard times come again no more. Many days you have lingered around my cabin door. Oh, hard times come again no more. like the sigh that is acted across the troubled wave. 'Tis the wail that is heard upon the shore, like the dirt that is murmured across the lonely grave. Oh, hard times come again no more. It's a song, a sigh of the weary. Hard times come again no more. Many days you have lingered around my cabin door. Oh, hard times come again no more. It's a song, a sigh of the weary. Hard times come again no more. Many days you have lingered around my cabin door. Oh, hard times come again no more. Oh, hard times come again no more.
Yes, there we go. Michael S. Torher with Hard Times, and you're back with Alternative Facts on 90.8. That's Erris Fm 90.8. Well, lads, we're back. What's the story next?
What's the story? Shall we go international? Paul?
Yes.
Yeah, sure. We'll see what's happening.
Well, according to Mr. Trump,
Who?
apparently the whole of the Ukrainian army is surrounded by the Russians. I think that if we start off by talking about Ukraine, I think Zelensky has actually played a bit of a blinder in that he was being forced to accept the American proposals and has said, yeah, fair enough. We agreed to this ceasefire and thrown the ball squarely back at Russia. And Russia, of course, don't want any of these proposals.
Yeah, well, he said we'll take a look at the proposals. I think that's what his statement was.
Yeah, but taking a look at the proposals and accepting the proposals are two completely different things.
Trump has made a statement since that whatever Putin thinks, if he doesn't accept the proposals made and it comes back to Ukraine, that Ukraine is blamed for not stopping the war if they don't accept the proposals.
Yeah. Jesus, that's crazy.
However,
that's the same as saying that he did before, like that Ukraine started the war, which they did not.
Well, unfortunately, with Trump, we just don't know from hour to hour what he's going to.
I don't think he knows.
Whatever.
I think we go back to what we were talking about earlier on about tomorrow's fish supper wrappers now becoming a 15-minute disposable item on the radio. People say something and 15 minutes later it's forgotten about. I think that as far as I can see, Trump just says anything to keep himself in the headlines for another 15 minutes.
It appears that way. But the one thing he is doing, I think, is he's galvanizing Europe into...
in a way that they haven't done for 80 years.
Haven't been done for years. I see yesterday in some paper or some report, Portugal now, they were due to get a squadron of F-16s or whatever, and now they're cancelled it and they're going to go for a Swedish or French.
They might go for the Eurofighter.
The Eurofighter and
Typhoon.
So he's alienating everybody, and he's.
Well, he's going to do damage to his own people.
Oh yes, of course, but
they're going to suffer a lot.
Of course,
sure. The stock market has gone to the
But it's like they need the international market to survive, no matter what. Yeah. No matter what he brings back into the States, he still needs international business. But
well, it doesn't matter where you are or what you are. Friendship is better than fighting.
Well, he doesn't want friends.
He doesn't know.
Because he's never had a friend. The only friend he had was the man who created him. That's listen. What was his name? Oh,
Daddy Trump.
yeah. Well, there you go.
Well,
Still in all, he's of European origin. He's German, Scotch.
I don't think the Scots or the Germans would be rushing out.
No.
I don't think either the Germans or the Scots would be in a hurry to. The Scots taught him a lesson. Actually, they were the it was a
They
woman.
did.
She took him to the Supreme Court or whatever you call it, and she won her case with over his golf course
Yep.
and the oil rigs. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But it shows he can be.
But I think
defeated.
I think that, as Eddie says, he's dangerous not only to the world outside, but he's also dangerous as far as Americans are concerned.
Yeah, but the Americans don't take it in. They don't see it.
I think
but
think they will start seeing it because
there's another day coming. Ken. The Americans are not as dumb as we think. They seem to be.
They are, Eddie.
But
Yeah.
I don't know.
No,
not all of them.
not all of them.
But no, the stock
sufficient
market
to-
is down 10% on the highs that there were as Trump took over.
Yeah.
This is going to have far-reaching effects because a large proportion of the citizens of the United States have stock market, or the stocks and shares. It's all part. It's all part of their.
Yeah, but not the bottom. Not the bottom.
Even at the bottom end, an awful lot of them are relying on that, in a small way. It's totally different to the way it's looked at here in Ireland and Britain and in Europe. And there's going to be, as you say, there are an awful lot of people who won't accept that it's his responsibility, but eventually reality will crack through.
Oh, but how much damage?
At the moment, it's kind of the Republican Party nor the Democratic Party are not openly opposing Trump.
Well, no,
it's for political convenience.
Because they're afraid.
Convenience.
They're afraid of being sacked.
Huh?
They're afraid of being sacked.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, he's played the fear factor from day one.
In
fact, he played the fear factor before he got in. So.
You heard the comment that there's only one person that Trump ever employed that was qualified for the job.
Yes,
they were taken. There was only one person.
Correct.
Oh, he's just
Stormy Daniels. But when you see, his battle with Canada now, but the new Prime Minister in Canada, Mark Carney, who's got Mayo connections.
He's three grandparents from Mayo.
But when you see a man like that who has been Governor of the Bank of England, Governor of the Bank of Canada, he's not a radical.
Mm-hmm.
He's a guy. When you see the likes of him turning,
what did he say? No way, shape, or form.
No way, shape, or form. Man to do with them.
Yeah.
I mean, when you see a man like that, that says it all. It's.
Oh yeah. And Europe is going to come out stronger out of this as well.
Yes. Well, that needed
and
to happen.
The American people are going to suffer most. I mean, when you think of if he imposes tariffs on the American companies working overseas, the American companies working overseas, they're still Americans, they're still living in America, they're taxed in America, and their wealth is in America. So he's doing damage to his own people.
I think when
he said that the other day, he somebody must have told him, because I don't think he has the brain to see it. But he said we may have. What's this? He said we may have to suffer some.
Yeah, he was supposed to sort everything out on day one.
Yeah,
he said everything was, the vote for me and the land of milk and honey starts tomorrow.
Yeah.
But
now we may have to wait a little time for.
Well, is he trying to make America great again, or is he trying to make America greater than any other country or any other continent in the world? I mean, great is one thing. But
What he said was, I hate to predict things like what's happening. He said, there is to be a period of transition because we're doing very big things. We're bringing wealth back to America, but it takes a little time.
Yeah.
And
so he's beginning to,
when the little time elapses, there'll still be no wealth back to America. I mean, look, see what happened with the Mexican Wall.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, his first presidency, he was all about a Mexican wall. Where's the wall? Still in his head.
Still in the cement bag, yeah.
Yeah, but when he said Mexico was going to pay for it.
But it's really a mafia tactics with him too. There, when you see when he's on about taking Greenland for the for the minerals there, and this deal he was trying to push with Ukraine to get their minerals. That's like mafia tactics.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Well, he's so used to working in the New York building industry, which is run along mafia lines anyway.
Yeah,
but I mean, he
didn't hold on to much of his businesses, did he? Does like you have Trump Tower there? He doesn't even own it.
No, and he did say that he was not going to do any harm to Ireland. Yet Irish whiskey has got a 200% tariff coming up if he imposes it.
Well, this is it. I mean, he imposes it today.
If he imposes it, is it all talk?
Well, he's basically started an economic war with his four America's. I won't say America's four biggest trading partners. The biggest trading partner is Canada. Europe is the second biggest. China is the third biggest. China. Mexico is the fourth biggest trading partner of the United States. Now, if you start messing around with what is probably 60 or 70% of their export market, it's going to have some direct effect on American companies. And
they won't be able to afford to go back.
Well,
for one
not
thing.
only that, but all these American companies that he's wanting to rebuild this great American dream, the one thing that they want is stability. If they don't have stability, they're not going to be in any position to invest. Exactly. And if your stability is built on 60% of your sales disappearing overnight, you're not going to be in a position to build this dream.
But the investors as well, they don't know what to do, because one day he's putting on a tariff, the next day it's off.
Well, that's it. This is the instability.
But they're being quiet. They're not speaking up.
Well, yeah, but they're not invested.
His own party is not speaking up. The Democrats are not speaking up.
But as I said,
Congress is not speaking up. Nobody is.
Well, it's only when the money men who will get out of if this keeps going, according to the forecast, they will get out of buying American bonds. They'll cash them in. And then that's when the real trouble will start.
But are the American people saying to themselves, just listen to Trump, it'll pass by?
Not all of them. But
not all of them.
Enough of them that voted him in this time.
But a lot of them have the fear of speak up and you're gone.
They're not speaking up.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Speak up and you're gone. That's what a lot of them are afraid of.
The Republicans are in both houses are frightened, of Trump, and as you say, he will get rid of any naysayers.
Yeah, any negativity gone.
But more importantly, they're worried about his supporters. The Democrats seem to be worried about Trump supporters. Apparently, the only people whose views are not respected at all are Democrat supporters, because the Democrats have just gone and hidden, basically.
Yeah.
At the moment,
and Liz Cheney is starting a rearguard action now, and I think that Chuck Schumer, who is the Democrat leader, I think he might be history within a week, because the government, the Democrats are suddenly realizing this cannot go on, because we're not going to get any backing from moderate Republicans.
Yeah, well, everything he's saying is being done because, like, that there's no one contradicting him on it.
But still, the Ukraine, he was going to sort out the Ukraine war the first week in power.
He thought 24 hours he'd have it done.
24 hours, yeah.
Yeah.
If he was president, it would never have happened. But the big, I think,
He didn't manage to stop it in his first.
Trump was going to be brought to heel at the midterm elections.
If there are any midterm elections.
Oh, there will be midterm elections.
And I think I said this here before. I remember, I think it was 1967. I was in a hotel in New York, 3 of us to join a ship. And we went down for breakfast, and it was the morning that the Russians invaded Czechoslovakia.
Right.
And for some reason, there must have been some military conference going on in the hotel, because there was 3 British officers, army officers, and 3 American army officers at the table next to us. And they were watching this television. And one of the Americans started shouting, we should nuke them. And one of the British officers said, he said, that's all very well, old chap, but what if they nuke you back? And the Yank was flabbergasted.
Yeah,
and I thought, these are military guys, officer rank. They're supposed to have something between the ears. But obviously the Yanks didn't. The British guy had something there, all right. But
they never thought that.
It actually frightened me to think.
That's the last thing ever we want.
It was a frightening thing to hear.
Yeah.
That some guy could nuke them.
Yeah, but the other thing is, I don't think an awful lot of Americans quite have the concept of the scale of places. You could fit probably from Kiev to Belmullet inside the United States. One side you've got the United States, you're flying for 8 hours and you're still in the same country. On the other side, you've got a whole continent, and within that there are 30 odd different countries with 30 odd different parliaments and ideologies. And I think that Americans just don't understand that.
Is he a fascist?
I think he's showing an awful lot of
fascist
traits.
And I see his pal, Mr. Musk, who
he's a
the other day,
President Musk, if you please.
President Musk, who was saying Hitler wasn't responsible for
he didn't
atrocity.
kill 6 million people.
He didn't kill them. It was he's taken it off X today. He's taken it down. That Stalin and Hitler did not. They didn't.
He didn't double down on it.
No. He pulled it out today.
And
so
it's like everything else. Not what you say. Not what you do is how you say it. How you say it.
And the in name only deputy president JD Vance.
Well, he's as bad as Trump.
With the shamrock socks.
This morning or last night, I think US time, he's basically kicked the South African ambassador out of the country.
Yeah, he said that earlier on.
Saying he's not welcome in the country, and if an ambassador's not welcome, that's basically him kicked out.
Yeah.
And he's not welcome because of his racist ideology, apparently. And I wonder if that has something to do with the fact that the richest man in the world, President Trump, and his good buddy Peter Thiel, who is probably the 3rd richest man in the world, are both South Africans brought up in white South Africa, now running big tech companies.
The richest man in the world. Is he still the richest man in the world, or maybe the richest man? But is there a richer woman
I think probably you would find out if everybody did tax returns, you'd find that the richest man in the world is Mr. Putin.
Yes, but I do like. There's only one thing I like. I like with Musk, and it's the statement that came out after his last rocket blew itself to smithereens over the Gulf of Mexico. The statement put out by his company was that it suffered a rapid unscheduled disassembly.
A rapid unscheduled
disassembly. Yeah, I think that's
which is probably what we're going to have to do any second now because we've close
we're getting close to 3 o'clock.
So a good choice of words to be used.
Trying to send us home.
No, but it's a subject we'll come back to every single week because it just continues. It continues and continues.
Gifts that keeps giving.
Here next week. Will we?
Oh no, that's it, ladies and gents. Easter weekend we will not be going ahead. So because of the bank holiday, we're going to give everyone the weekend off,
whether they want it or not.
Whether they want it or not. Paul is in protest now. He's going to be standing outside with his bollard.
I've been in contact with my mate Isaac. Yes.
But anyway, ladies and gents, we'll have to say our goodbyes and thank you for listening in. And again, congratulations to everyone who's got up on the podcast. And as we said in the last 30 days, 1,061 people have viewed the podcast. So thank you very much for that, and thanks for tuning in. We'll talk to you again very soon. So. Slán Abhaile from Eddie.
Yes,
from Ted as well.
Yes.
And Paul.
Good luck until next time.
We'll talk to you soon. Thank you.
Alternative facts to that. But the point remains.
Alternative facts, 4 of the 5 facts he uttered. Look, alternative facts are not facts. They're falsehoods.
Alternative facts.
Any information that turned out to be so false and fake out. I think it's a disgrace. And that's something Nazi Germany would have done and did do.
Alternative facts.
Hello everybody, this is Michael John Ruddy and Tom Riley with another hour of country music we hope you enjoy. We're coming to you on Erris Fm 90.8 from the town of Belmullet. Thank you, Tom, for joining me on the show. It's always a pleasure.
You're
to
welcome.
have you along.
You're welcome, John.
Just before you give Tom the first choice of music here, request for Daniel and Carla and the 2 boys in County Clare. I hope you have a lovely St. Patrick's weekend. Also request for Tracy and Michael and Ella and Michael Jr. and all the Langans and Ballycastle. Your choice of music for the...
Well, we'll take it off with a man that's sadly not with us anymore. The mellow tones of Don Williams and Say It Again.